The real world starts now. Let's do a recap of what the past couple weeks have looked like and the next several weeks, what those have in store. First of all, thank you very much to the student producers of the video that kicked off our Flex Friday work. That video was meant to open our eyes to some issues that are happening in the world around us. Some of those stories were really difficult to learn about. There's a lot of hardship and suffering in the world, but there's also a lot of hope and a lot of joy. The reason why we started the Flex Friday season with that video was just to help us remember that we are operating as part of a larger reality. We are all connected to this great big world outside of Baxter, outside of our homes. And our education is a way that we can come to understand the needs around us. Our education is a way that we can learn to contribute to the world, meet some of these real world needs, share our gifts and share our talents. And hopefully, our Flex Friday work is an extension of that vision. So we moved from there right into the intro project. The intro project is where you're creating, of course, a pack or a prototype of a pack to meet a real world need. And I know you're turning the corner and you're almost finished with those probably. So let's go through October and November, what those months will look like. I want to honor and mention that I do understand that our seniors, especially, have a lot of experience with Flex Friday, and you can be wise elders, I think, to the younger students, maybe, and as we move through these months, maybe sharing ideas. I also want to honor that you may be in a different place in terms of your experience and understanding of the proposal writing process. Nevertheless, the guide posts here in this calendar I think will be helpful for everyone. So today, when we finish talking about the calendar, we're going to move into a little mini unit on conflict. That's because Flex Friday projects and Flex Friday clusters can sometimes be ripe with conflict, which of course is natural when you're working together with others. And conflict actually makes us better. Conflict often makes projects better if we know how to manage those conflicts and if we can identify strategies and grow skills in conflict management. And so I'm happy to say that every student has will have an online conflict inventory that they're going to do today. Baxter has purchased one of those for every person who's a member of this community, and so you're going to work on that today after this. And then you will talk about the results of that in your advisory next week. Then you're going to, at 10:30, get back to work with your intro project group on your pack. And the slides of your final prototype are due by Friday at the latest, and you're going to hand those in to your cluster project advisor, and that person will then hand them over to Gretchen and I. Next week, during Baxter Community Time, you're going to have a chance to see the work of your classmates and to exhibit your own work. We'll have a student exhibit of all of these packs and products that you've been prototyping, and I think it'll be really fun to see the fruits of your labor all in one place. After that, we have 5 weeks of a speaker series happening during this synchronous time. So on Wednesdays at 8:30, and we've got lots of compelling speakers. Speaker 1 is a speaker related to climate, to something called the Citizens Climate Lobby, climate mitigation. That's going to be a great kickoff to our speaker series. After that, you're going to do what's called cluster shopping. So I know many of you may know this already, but projects come under clusters. So there is a field ecology cluster, and lots of projects would fall into that category. If you're interested in doing experiments in the natural world or data collection within out in nature, there's a cluster, a media cluster. If you're interested in creating podcasts or musical production, perhaps, that could be in the media cluster. There is a robotics cluster. There will be cybersecurity work that will happen within a cluster. So the 7th is the day that you can learn about different clusters and what's happening in those clusters. The 12th is Indigenous People Day. We have no school. There's no Flex Friday work officially happening on that week of school. You'll have 4 days of classes. But during Baxter Community Time, if you want help with brainstorming project ideas, that will be available to you on Tuesday, And we would definitely love to have some older students there helping brainstorm, maybe helping with younger students. And that same thing will happen on Thursday during Baxter Community Time. So stay tuned for the links for that. By the 16th, the clusters will be established. This might be a little bit different than in the past in that you're going to be working on the proposal within the clusters. So your cluster advisor will be coaching you through the proposal writing process. Again, I know many of you have been through this process before, but by the end of today, you will have the proposal documents that we're going to be using. They're very similar to the past iteration of the proposal document. However, there's a few things that will look different to you. The way that these will be presented will be different, and every project will have a proposal. So every student will be associated with a proposal. If you're working as a group, your group will have one proposal. Speaker 2 in our speaker series, it's actually a group of 3 speakers representing the Atlantic Black Box, and that's an organization that helps us to understand Maine's involvement in the slave trade. It's a super compelling topic, and the speakers are interested in getting to know you because they're really hoping that some students from Baxter will get involved doing work with Atlantic Black Box, different types of research around this topic. After that, you will continue working on proposals during Flex Friday under the guidance of your cluster coach. Speaker 3 in our speaker series is the director of Maine's Forestry Division. She's going to be talking to you about forestry in Maine, careers related to forestry in Maine, the importance of healthy forests in Maine, and you're going to continue proposal writing. On the 31st, happy Halloween. Okay, so then moving into November, speaker 4 is a representative from Portland Public Health who will be talking to us about opioids and the effect of opioids on the body and the devastating impact that the opioid crisis has had on Maine, but also a lot of the hopeful work that's being done in our communities. And then after that, work on the proposal. Speaker 5 is a couple who originally are from Iran, but moved here because they were fleeing extreme religious persecution, and they share their story, they share their journey with us. This would be a great talk, I think, for anyone who's interested in doing work with Baxter International this year. I think the Baxter International work will look a lot more like connecting with communities in our own state who may not originally be from the United States of America. This is the final day to work on your proposal, and then proposals will be presented on the 13th and the 18th of November. So each proposal will be presented to a committee of adults, teachers, and administrators, and there's going to be several ways that the proposals need to be presented. You'll see that within the documents. So by the end of this week here, that process will be wrapped up, and you'll be well on your way to creation of some amazing Flex Friday projects. Again, some of you might be further along on this, but these are guideposts that are important to keep in mind. Thank you.